The Akin Fadeyi Foundation, AFF, has kicked off the What Women Can Do competition as part of efforts towards achieving gender-inclusive governance in Nigeria. At the virtual event, stakeholders identified key steps to increase the participation of women in politics. The ultimate objective of the program is to encourage women to endure in their leadership ambitions despite the present turns in Nigerian politics, to reaffirm their capabilities as equally endowed social actors who are not intellectually subordinate in any way, and to stimulate public conversation on the need for gender parity in the access to power. Speaking during the AFF virtual event on Tuesday, Akin Fadeyi, who is the executive director of AFF, said the country had gone backwards on the inclusion of women in governance. According to him, it is time for Nigeria to jettison these mentally self-inflicted barriers.
What happened to us as a nation? Why are our women taking the back seat? What happened to the vibrant, strong culture of political participation by Nigerian women? Why is it that in 1999, till date, we've had House of Reps, we've had the Senate House, and when we have like 109 House of Reps members, we will have 3 women.
In the last 4 years that I have been engaged in active politics, I have learned a lot of lessons on women, rural poverty, women participation in politics, and the entrenched disadvantage to women in politics. To the topic of today, I will say it up front that we cannot achieve gender-inclusive governance without challenging the patriarchal dominance of political bodies. Why did I say political bodies? I use bodies instead of political parties because in politics and in governance, structures are erected against women everywhere.
The last time I checked, we just had about 4% of women in politics. Globally, not just in Nigeria, to have a gender-inclusive government, we need to start, right? We need to start at the beginning. We need to see why are the women not being nurtured? And I use the term nurtured deliberately because there needs to be an intentionality about it.
In terms of political sphere, Canada has made good strides very recently with our most recent Prime Minister. He's a central left-leaning party, and in 2015, it was his first year in power. And we had the first gender-balanced federal cabinet in Canadian history. We were thrilled. 50% women. Our deputy prime minister, which is like vice president, minister of finance is a woman, our minister of national defense is a woman, minister of foreign affairs is a woman. They're doing well. They're being well received publicly for the most part. And I think as more women take these jobs in politics and they're helping to redesign the jobs in the ways that accommodate the needs of women.
Politics for women does not start from when you come out in the public and say, I want to run or I want to be appointed. It starts from the day you are born female, because being born female is conflated with a certain kind of socialization that diminishes the potential of that female child vis-a-vis a male child. We must raise our sons and our daughters to be the equals of each other. Boys have to recognize that if you can eat, then you can cook. That's just an example, so that we demystify socialization. The second fundamental thing I'd like to put on the table, again, turning this conversation on its head, is that the question should not be, what can women do? Women are doing a lot already. The question should be, can we recognize what women already do and what they can do better? A lot of what women do have already been said, but the question has not been asked. What can men do to support women to attain their full potential? Because there is gatekeeping.
I'm a bit discouraged by the kind of data coming out from the political space. So how do we address this? Is it to make new laws, have more laws, so that they will be compelled to do the right thing? I believe in the efficacy of laws, but when we are talking about gender equity, gender equality, when we are talking about even gender parity, because I don't know why it cannot be 50-50, we can go through the legal route, but we are still not addressing the foundations of the problem. For us to see that a woman can be president, a woman can be governor, a woman can be anything that she wants to be, that is where we should address the issue from. Because if we talk about law, some people will just grudgingly obey the law, but they are still not convinced that this is how it should be.
Women need to change the strategy. Women need to also recognize that, as Tracy says, we have choices. We have choices of who we really want to be. Do we want to be second fiddle? Do we want to recognize the fact that in the makeup of our nature, we are endowed? And what can we use of our endowments to bring about some of the changes we wish to see? The first for me and for many women I have spoken to on this subject matter is to begin to look inwards. Who am I? And what is a woman in this country?